Hey guys, this is Duran with Doran'sThoughts.com. I want to thank you for joining me, watching this video, and spending a few moments to go over some new news out in the public domain about this COVID virus. Now, recently, NPR has come out with a report that outlines. Well, let me back up. NPR, National Public Radio, is no conservative media outlet. It's very liberal, very Democrat, very left-wing. They've come out with a report excoriating experts on how they've gotten this COVID virus wrong, how the COVID virus is not nearly as severe or deadly as projected, or as the media has created this frenzy into scaring us into believing how deadly it is. Also, CDC has just come out with a report, and they have finally published some data on this COVID virus. It's August. All this lockdown stuff started in March. It's been 5 months that the CDC has not presented any data on this COVID virus. Finally, they have. Still, they have all they did was published a long list, a big table of raw data. It's not boiled down, it's not consolidated, and it's not in a form where you can just readily look at it and draw a conclusion or understand what they're saying. When you go look at this information, you will still have to spend hours of reading through it, thinking about it, picking data and putting it together to create information that's actually valuable and understandable and explainable. I've spent hours looking at this stuff, and I'll give you a breakdown of a little bit of what I've discovered. One, the median age for deaths with this COVID virus is 78. Now that is the United States expected lifespan, 78 years. So the COVID virus is primarily attacking, having a fatal effect on those people who have already reached the end of their lifespan. Furthermore, it's shown that COVID virus is affecting those people who already have pre-existing conditions, and based on their age and pre-existing conditions, they're predicted to have expired, to passed on or died within this year anyway. They just happened to contract the COVID virus and they died, when they would have been predicted to die because of pre-existing conditions. More information that you can put together and discern from COVID-19 from the CDC data. And the CDC, that's the Centers for Disease Control. But for children, ages birth to the 15 years old, of those who've contracted the COVID virus, deaths are so small that they don't even register on the percentage scale. Essentially, you can conclude from the CDC data that for children birth to 15 years old, there's practically zero risk of children dying when contracting the COVID virus. Children are very resilient. Very easily their bodies overcome this disease, and there's almost no impact. You can look further and see that people who contract the COVID virus from birth to age 45, the percentage of deaths are less than 1. It's far less than 1. They almost don't register on the percentage scale. You could almost make the case that anybody 45 or under has nearly a zero chance or probability of dying from this COVID virus if they contract it. So the point of that is the data's out there. It's hard to find, but if you're willing to spend the time, you can find it, and you will see that actual factual data supports the claim that this COVID virus is not deadly. It's not nearly as deadly. It's not nearly as severe. It's not as dangerous as the fear frenzy that's being stirred up by the media. Also, recently, a local newspaper here in my area, the Lexington Chronicle, printed an article, COVID-19 experts proven wrong. They go through this article in great detail, excoriating experts who have misled, not only experts, but experts, politicians, media, everybody involved who have misled the public and created a frenzy of fear that was unnecessary, and they have created economic damage to the nation as well as families and individual people that should have never happened because they were very badly wrong. They were predicting, everybody's led to believe, if you get the COVID virus, you're essentially dead. Well, that's not the case. They even say that the death rate is, 3.5% to 5% or greater for people who contract COVID. That's not true either. The data from the CDC shows that the death rate for all ages, from 0 to the oldest person tested, is less than 1%. So, and this data shows that 6 or 7 million, I forget the number, 6 or 7 million people have been tested and shown to have either positive for COVID virus or positive for the antibodies. And out of this huge body or this huge population of people who are positive for this COVID, the death rate is less than 1%. The body fights us off. It is not nearly as deadly. And those people who it does affect are the elderly with pre-existing conditions who would be predicted to die, within this year anyway. Now, there's also new information on this mask, this ridiculous mask that we've been asked to wear, or in a lot of circumstances being forced to wear. In an earlier video, I gave out the information where the COVID virus was being, this mask did not stop atomized and aerosolized vapors are being exhaled when people breathe, when they talk, when they cough, or when they sneeze. And this plume of atomized fog contaminated with the COVID virus at first was reported to travel up to 3 meters. Well, now tests and data show that this virus, this plume, this fog of virus spores is now traveling 7 meters, which is 23 feet. And in the earlier video, I told you guys that it would stay airborne for up to 3 hours. Well, now that's been expanded to where it stays airborne for up to 6 hours or longer. Now, social distancing of 6 feet has absolutely no effect when you're completely encompassed by a fog of this COVID virus in atomized and aerosolized vapor. Also, now data shows that mandatory mask wearing actually increases the incidence of COVID-19 contraction among people. I also reported to you in an earlier video that wearing the mask was dangerous because people weren't wearing it properly. People were re-wearing the mask over and over. They were laying it down on contaminated surfaces. They were getting both sides of the mask contaminated with other viral infections, with other bacterial infections, and then they were putting this mask on and it was held up against their face, and so they were getting infected with other diseases besides the COVID virus. Added to that, they're constantly touching surfaces, getting their hands contaminated, and they're touching the mask with their hands, transferring contamination to the mask. Well, now data shows that wearing the mask actually increases the incidence of COVID-19 contraction. It's been shown in places where people do not wear the mask, such as states like South Dakota, where the governor is not mandating the mask wearing or not mandating all these shutdowns and all these restrictions, They have one of the lowest rates of COVID-19 infection of anywhere in the United States. On the other hand, you look at those places where wearing a mask is mandatory. If you go to church, you're not allowed to go to church. You're not allowed to attend any type of social event. COVID-19 cases are peaking. They've discovered that the COVID-19 is actually increased by wearing this mask because droplets of vapor or droplets of liquid that gets contaminated are being absorbed by this mask, and then when people are exhaling, it's causing the liquid to vaporize, and now you're actually increasing over and above normal aerosolized fog levels. Now these aerosolized and atomized fogs are becoming heavier and more concentrated because droplets that would normally fall to the ground and not infect anyone is now becoming aerosolized. And the reverse is true. These droplets are being absorbed by the mask, and as you inhale, the air is vaporizing this, and now you're inhaling higher quantities of this COVID virus. So the masks are actually more dangerous, create more of a danger by wearing the mask than if you don't wear a mask. Now another development is most everybody knows Walmart declared that they were going to enforce people wearing masks in their stores. They did this for a few days, and after a few days they stopped, they reversed and did about turn and decided they would no longer demand or force people to wear masks in their stores. They would only inform them that they should wear a mask. Now, why did they do that? They originally claimed the reason they were requiring patrons, shoppers, to wear masks was because Walmart was concerned with the health and safety of their employees. They wanted their employees to be safe from the contraction of this COVID virus, and they wanted everybody to wear a mask to protect their employees. So why, a few days later, did they stop requiring a mask? If the COVID virus is deadly, as claimed, if the masks are as effective as claimed, why would Walmart stop requiring the mask? Well, I'll tell you why. Their actions clearly state they quit requiring the mask because of economic reasons. They were losing a lot of money. A lot of shoppers were leaving and going to other stores. Now, they reversed course a few days later, claiming again they reversed course because they were concerned with the safety of their employees. Patrons and shoppers were becoming irate. They were yelling and screaming. They were threatening their employees. But they could not point to any case where a shopper had actually hurt or attacked an employee. And the only cases that they could come up with that even came close were from other stores like Home Depot and these large corporate stores. So why would Walmart stop demanding masks be worn? Again, it's because of money. Now, they can say that they are concerned with employees' health and safety for this COVID virus. If the COVID virus is as dangerous as claimed, and if the mask is as effective as claimed, and Walmart is really as concerned as they claim, then they would force patrons to wear their mask. On the other hand, if Walmart is really afraid of patrons and they're afraid for the employee safety because of patrons possibly becoming threatening or abusive, Walmart could easily hire off-duty police officers to stand guard at their doors and force every patron and every shopper to wear a mask into their store. That would accomplish the safety of their employees for both of their concerns. The police officers, the off-duty police officers, or security guards, they could hire anybody with a uniform that the public would have a large respect for to stand at their doors. The shoppers would be required to wear masks, which would protect their employees' safety and health from this COVID virus if the virus was really deadly. are very severe. And they'd be wearing a mask if the mask was really effective. But Walmart quit doing that. And Walmart did not hire security guards or off-duty police officers to force people to wear masks. Now Walmart lets shoppers enter their stores and do their shopping without wearing a mask. That tells any person with the smallest amount of common sense and deductive reasoning that Walmart knows the COVID virus is not as severe as claimed, the masks aren't effective, and they're not afraid of their patrons. They're not afraid for their employee safety because of patrons becoming violent. It all boils down to money. Walmart's losing money, so they quit requiring the mask. Now, all this COVID virus, you hear talk about how this COVID virus and all the restrictions are connected to, this new economic, system, people trying, wanting to destroy America's economy, America's, economic system. Well, recently, the World Economic Forum has issued a statement. They're using this COVID virus pandemic as a means and excuse to retool not only the United States, but the whole entire world's economy into a socialist, communist economy. They use these keywords and phrases, these code words and phrases like they're going to make, economic systems more equitable to people, more easily accessible to people, blah, blah, blah. But it all boils down to they're going to create a world communist economic system. Tie that with Black Lives Matter's main leaders who've already claimed that they're highly trained communists and their only purpose is to destroy America, reform America. They've already discussed and publicized that their goal is to destroy Christianity, destroy the nuclear family, and destroy America. Now, it's all right for these for this Black Lives Matter, who is nothing more than a terrorist group, and who are rioting. They're not protesting. There's nothing peaceful about their protests. All they're doing is terrorizing the public into accepting government control of their lives. All this ties together. This World Economic Forum is working with the forces that are aligning this Black Lives Matter and organizing a Black Lives Matter and all this Antifa, Color of Change, all these organizations that are terrorists into creating fear in the American public and scaring everyone into demanding the government control their lives. And I'm sure you've noticed that Black Lives Matter, these people, they can organize, they can protest, they don't have to wear masks, they don't have to observe social distancing. And when was the last time you heard of a Black Lives Matter protester becoming ill with the COVID virus? It doesn't happen. This COVID virus is not nearly as severe dangerous as is projected to be. Now, all these restrictions that are being placed on us also play into this same changing the American economy. It's forcing us to self-isolate, whereas Black Lives Matter, they're organizing, they're growing, they're building their groups, where on the other hand, we are self-isolating and even beginning to fear our own people. We are disbanding ourselves. We are literally becoming sheep, falling into line, giving the government control of our lives, and this has to stop or we will no longer have an America to live in and enjoy. We need to quit wearing the mask. All of you people who already understand that this mask is worthless, congratulations, a big attaboy, hand clapping, applause to you. but you've got to start encouraging all those around you to stop wearing this mask. The more we do not wear this mask, the more all the people, the sheep who are afraid, see that nothing happens to us. We walk around not wearing the mask, nothing happens to us. We have also got to start, we have to start forming social events, family get-togethers. I just attended a family get-together where we had people in our family from 3 different states get together. There was nearly 40 people there. No one has gotten sick from the COVID virus. Even though a lot of the family, some of the family members were, supporting wearing masks. We encouraged no one to wear masks. We even had elderly grandparents in our group. Nobody wore a mask, and magically no one has gotten sick with the COVID virus. And now the whole entire family, even those who support wearing a mask, is now questioning wearing a mask. Now they're even going out not wearing a mask. That's what we have to do. The more of us who do not wear a mask, we demonstrate to everyone else, we're an example to everyone else, that this mask does not work, it's not effective, and this virus is not nearly as severe as it's projected to be. We go out with no mask, we conduct our lives normal, we go about our normal daily lives, and nothing happens to us. In fact, those of us who do not wear a mask have lower incidence of contracting COVID virus, whereas those who do wear the mask have lots higher incidence of contracting COVID virus. The mask increases your chances and odds of contracting that virus. We have got to stop wearing the mask. We need to start encouraging other people to not wear the mask. And we have got to start organizing social events. Get your family together for a cookout. 3 or 4 people at a time. Grow it. Get more and more people together so everybody can see the example. We have got to kill this fear of the darkness. We have got to get rid of everybody acting like fearful children, afraid of the monster that does not exist under their bed. People are afraid of this COVID monster that does not exist. There is no monster under the bed. Stop being afraid of it. Start organizing social events. Start getting together with family. Organize block parties, street parties. Get your neighbors together. Start small and growing bigger, having social events. The more we do, the more people will see that none of us are getting infected, and those who are getting infected are getting over the virus. Now I need you guys to join me. Go out in public as often as possible. Do not wear your mask, no mask. Be an example. Convince all those around you to go out in public and do not wear a mask so we can show the whole world that this mask is ineffective. The COVID virus is not nearly as severe as it's claimed to be. We just have to be the adults. We have to be the parents who shine the light under the bed to show the scared sheep, everybody else who's afraid of this virus, who's buying into this media frenzy. Show everyone there is no COVID monster under the bed. There's nothing there to be afraid of. Have block parties, social events, get your family together. Let everyone see that people are getting together, not wearing masks, not getting infected. And let's be an example to the rest of the world so we can get this behind us, get our country back working, get rid of the economic damage, and get President Trump reelected 2020. Again, thank you very much for joining for this video. And until our next video, thank you very much. And this is DORAN with DORANthoughts.com. Thank you.